Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a match we rarely ever see happen at the highest level. Maru versus Rainer. Neither players are frequent visitors, frequent flyers of the online cup circuit, so seeing them to fight is uncommon. Maru specifically has hardly ever played anything online. He used to do some of the team stuff, which he was forced to by his team, similar to what Cyril used to do. But anything else? No. Not so much. I think he sometimes plays some of the big Chinese events, but that's about it. I love this, by the way. Maru is blocking a fourth base right now. He thinks he's blocking a third. Little does he know. Could have gotten that scouting information with the SCV, but he decided, you know what? I don't want my opponent to actually get that that quick expansion over there. This queen is extremely late, by the way. First drone is going to go down. What was this? This was a gasless opener with a very fast third hatch. 4 links coming out. So let me give you a little bit of theory here while we're at it. After a long, hard day of punching numbers into spreadsheets at your job, I'm sure that what you really want to hear about right now is, you know, some more numbers. But it is interesting because we're actually going to get the SCV scout. So everything I was about to say is irrelevant. I'm still going to say it to make you guys feel good about yourselves. All right, listen to this. What Rainer did over here was that he pretended to have a quick gas. Usually when you open up with a gasless opener, the thing that you do is you go for a 15 hatchery before Overlord. That means that your hatchery finishes quite quickly and your spawning pool also is quite fast because you start at after you build your Overlord instantly at 15 supply rather than at 18 supply. That way you have quicker queens out that can then deny the Reaper from dealing a whole lot of damage in your natural or in your main base. Ooh, we're actually going to get a second kill here. Yep, there we go. However, what Rainer did here was he went, I think, for a 16 hatchery and then an 18 pool, which is a more standard pool timing for if you're playing a gas build order. Then, if Maru had not scouted that there was a third base over here, Maru might have acted as if this was a 2-base gas build due to the queen timing and the fact that there were 4 links out. So a little bit of mind gaming going on here from Rainer's side of things with that backdoor base, which only has 5 patches, by the way, and a single extractor, but Maru playing it safe with that SCV scout. So we could definitely say that this early game was quite advantageous, I would think, for Maru. Maru also followed this up with, I think, one of the greedier builds that I've seen. This was a Reaper, I think, into Reactor. Double eBay coming in here as well. These upgrades have started before the stim went down. 3rd CC on location and a really quick third gas. So we're going to be playing a bio game as we have our first little bit of a move out. I wonder if Rainer's going to respect this. This to me does not feel like a realistic move out. I'd be shocked if Rainer builds a whole lot here. Like, this is such an obvious fake that I am honestly shocked here to see Rainer just respond in any way, shape, or form. He's going to be building about 22 links, which could be enough to just catch this. But if Maru had just gone back home, this would have been no problem whatsoever. Maru's actually going to start attacking this fort right now. We'll take out 1 creep tumor. It's potentially going to cost him the lives of a bunch of Marines over here, which is not going to be great. Metabolic boost finishing up in about 12 seconds. Stim won't be done. 1-1 won't be done. Perhaps Rainer's being a little bit impatient. He's going to wait for 10 more links and then, I guess, go for it. I mean, if he finds this, that is probably a worthwhile investment, I would say. Links are going to find it, and we'll see 5-6 links go down against the 8 Marines. It's going to make it significantly harder here for Maru to deal some damage later on. This is one of the things, by the way, you kind of have to do if you're opening up with a 3-Rex, because one of the very unfortunate outcomes of builders like this is that you often end up with more Marines than you can carry. So you'll have 2 medevacs, and usually when you have 2 medevacs, you have about 14 to 16 Marines. But with a build order like this, the moment you have 2 medevacs, you're going to have about 32 Marines, and 8 Marines fit in a medevac. So unless, you know, they want to sit on top of each other's laps, which Marines, by the way, don't want to do for whatever reason, you're not going to fit them in medevac, so a couple need to walk on the ground. It just feels very awkward. So very frequently with this type of opener, we do see an early game move out, either fake or real. This time it was a real move out that probably should have been a fake. It felt like a fake. Rainer fell for the fake, and then it ended up being real. So you make it out what you will. We're going to rush into an infestation pit behind this. Get 1-1 upgrade as well. Oh my god. Maru is really not taking any prisoners here today. He's adding in 3 more barracks, and most likely here is going to be setting up for an 8-Rex. Or, well, this is an 8-Rex, as this is, well, 8-Rex into 4cc. Usually an 8 barracks opener means that we're going to be seeing a heavy investment into big marine count and then follow that up with tanks, like a big marine tank push out, usually centered around the 2-2 upgrades. Here, however, I think we're going to go for an 8-Rex with 4 tech labs total. Lots of pressure with mine, marine, marauder, while also building a fort base behind it. And the fort base did go down after the extra barracks, which is an uncommon way of playing when you are going for a macro game. We're even seeing a second factory here. So this is this is kind of an uncommon approach here out of Maru to this game, and I'm curious to see if it's going to work out. It's going to allow him to tank banelings much more efficiently, of course, with marauders. Rocks have been blasted down, by the way. Maru is oversaturating this base quite a bit. Raynor already has this bad boy up. Extremely low worker count though at 68. 9 more drones coming down right now. I wonder if Raynor, yeah, he has seen the 4cc, and I think he wanted to confirm that before adding this round of drones. Because so far he's had a pretty crap time, to be honest, when it comes to the drone count. Here comes a link flank. It's not quite gonna work out. Couple of links going down. There's more marines making their way across the map. Concussive shell about to finish up as well. 1-1 is, or sorry, 2-2 is about half a minute away from finishing. And I think this is still going to be a key timing, despite it being without any type of tank support. If he can deny any amount of creep spread before the main fights, there's going to be a serious amount of time in which Maru is just going to have superior upgrades. It's going to have the +2 attack against the +1 carapace. That is a situation as a Zerg player you don't really want to be in. It's lovely to see, by the way, centrifugal hooks finishing about the same time that adrenal glands hit 30-35% of its research time. So it is an interesting game here that we're watching, not one that we've seen before. Not quite in this manner, at least, as Raynor, I think, was preparing for a major drop or a major offense over here in this general area. As Maru is now going to hit the sweet spot in between the 3rd and the 4th base, or I guess the natural and the 4th base it really is. Mine's getting some connections, not great connections, not awful connections, just connections, you know. As the banelings are trying to run forward as well. Link count has disappeared pretty much as these upgrades are putting on a lot of work. Banelings once again trying to home in on some of these targets. Not quite gonna get it. Maru still up 16 supply, continues stimming in further forward. Adrenal glands finishing up. That's going to help these links massively, specifically against marauders. The first Viper is out. No infestors on the map, by the way. Could have been an error. I always feel like Vipers are a bit of a reach in this type of situation, where infestors, they give you immediate value the moment an infestor is out. Vipers, they take a long time. You need to wait until Hive is done, and then you still have another like 35 seconds in which you're gathering energy, which is an extremely long time, in which you just feel super vulnerable. And even when they're out, it's not like the Viper is a game changer. It's a unit that helps you a lot in pushing Terrans back over time. It's great anti-air, but mainly what it does, it makes it harder to heal up the forces, because medevacs are going to go down, needs to go back home to repair these medevacs as well, and it's very frustrating for the Terran player generally. However, with just a single Viper, I'm not sure if you can actually deal enough damage to truly make an impact, while a single good fungal or a single infestor, despite it being less consistent, can have detrimental consequences for the Terran. So especially when behind, I love seeing these infestors, but that's not what we're seeing here right now. Link Baneling trying to connect, getting a couple of decent hits here once more. Oh, Maru manages to escape here with... What the hell? That was sweet. What the hell? That was a beautiful mind drag underneath that low HP. Medevac killing 10 supply there. Felt like if not for that, Maru would have had a very significant supply lead here. Even now, I feel like Maru does have a supply lead that should worry Raynor. But the moment the Ultra Cavern finishes up, we get Chitinous plating on the way. We can start pumping a couple of Ultras. Could potentially be a game changer. I'm still really... missing some of these spellcasters though for Raynor. Just a single Viper simply not going to be good enough. Transfuses can go down here on this hatchery. Parasitic bomb as well onto these medevacs. There we go, moves towards the right side. Both of these are most likely going to explode. Not the greatest controller out of Maru as he tries to pick up more. Raynor pushes him back. For the first time in a while, actually seems to be doing okay supply-wise. Don't forget, some of that supply, though, is going to be in these Ultralisk. While at the same time, Maru is going to hit a bit of a timing here once more. Just like before with the 2-2, he now is ahead in upgrades by about a minute and a half or so against the Carapace upgrade of Raynor. Let's see what these links are going to be capable of doing. Mine connections are okay. Marines in the back, Marauders in the back. Supply heavily leaning in favor of Maru, though. So the medevac count is decent. We have personal healing for majority of these units. And these medevacs are all getting pretty low, but they're not dying quite yet. A lot of them are out of energy. So one good fight here for Raynor could change this completely as 2 medevacs go down. One more medevac will fall, but chitinous plating not quite done. You can see the impact that the Marauders here have against the Ultra. Let's look at that. Yes, the first Ultra has already gone down. Second Ultra is now being kited to the death as well. As medevacs are slowly but surely emptying out. This army is extremely overstimmed, but Maru up 30 supply. I don't think is going to give a crap about that, as neither of these armor upgrades are going to finish up, nor the Carapace 3 or the chitinous plating. And with this amount of damage output, I just don't think that Raynor can really do anything or get one more decent parasitic bomb. Going to force some of these medevacs back, but at the end of the day, the ground forces for Raynor are not going to be good enough. That can only mean one thing, and that is that Maru is going to be picking up game number 1 here on Celestial Enclave. Unique map in the pool, and the Terran takes it home. Felt to me like in that game, Maru knew much clearer what his goals were and really played around them. Very heavy reliance on really doing the big work with the upgrade leads, right? We had the initial 2-2 timing where we saw Maru make a conscious effort to take big fights with the army kind of close together, just wanting to trade out. And after that, we saw a lot of smaller fights with smaller groups until the 3-3 hit. And then once again, Maru just kind of full send it, realizing that he was going to have a relatively large timing window there with those superior upgrades. And it really felt like the upgrades are what brought this game home. You know, brought it all together for Maru. This time around, once more opening up just with a standard Reaper. I think one of the things that I admire the most about Maru is that he has an extremely large variety of build orders that he can play. So we've seen him play double barrack stuff in the past. We've seen him open up with Marine first crap as well, reactors, but he's completely capable of playing a standard game as well. He's known to be doing gas first stuff too. Like, he is really he's a box filled with surprises, but not the fun type of surprises. It's like when you think you're getting a present, and then one of these clowns on like you call it a spring, you know, the thing that jumps at you, like wow, and everyone laughs at you, and then they eat your cake, and you pretend to be fine for the rest of your birthday, but you thought it was one of the worst ones because of the crappy clown gift. It's such a terrible gift. Who would do that? Is that his second? No, it's the first Reaper. Never mind. That's kind of what Maru is. Maru is like a clown in a box. Jack in a box. I think it's called a Jack in a box. The Jack that comes out and he's in a box. Yeah, that's what it feels like playing against Maru frequently. This guy plays like an absolute prick. Someone should stop him. Let's see if Raynor can do it. Reaper coming out. Another thing that Maru is great at, by the way, is that he has this ability to sell any style as something else, because he's capable of playing any style. Like, he can play mech, he can play bio, he can make bio look like mech, he can make mech look like bio. Sometimes you think he's playing Terran, he's playing Protoss. You know, you think he's juggling, but he's actually punching you in the face. It is a terrible all-round. CC on the low ground. This is a very advanced trick that I haven't seen before. So, Zerg players around 3 minutes and 40 seconds will send this Overlord into the main base. And this Zerg player is going to be expecting a command center right over here. This is a triple CC. However, the CC is going to be in the natural, which is of course way simpler to scout because a single link is going to consistently get that information. However, there is a chance here that Raynor respects his opponent too much that he won't even send a Ling in. He's like, okay, there's no way I'm going to get in with a Ling like into the main base to get the scout because the depot will be raised. So I'm not going to get any useful information. And he's probably right. However, this time the useful information is hidden in the natural, although there's also some useful information to be gathered in the main base, let me tell you. So we're actually seeing a second factory coming in right now. This is around the time, by the way, that we usually see the Overlord start flying a little bit further forward. But yeah, we're getting a Blue Flame Hellion, I think, this opener. And that could still go into bio, but with the third gas being added in over here, I am starting to lean towards mech. I wonder if this is something that Raynor should have in mind. I wonder if this Hellion build in particular is fresh in his mind. Second gas going up, or third gas going up in the main base. This Overlord is not going in, by the way. Raynor here is not even attempting on gathering information. That could definitely bite him in the bum. One thing that Maru needs to be careful about is to show proper numbers of Hellions, by the way. So these extra Hellions, you probably do want to hide them. You don't want to show ever more than 6 Hellions in total, as this Ling is going to get killed. This is a very kind of suspicious move back home in my mind. We see a Baneling nest going down out of Raynor after getting that Zergling hunted down. And I think that might just be the correct call as well. This is Maru saying, hey, I care more about safety and killing run-bys and killing scouting than I care about dealing damage, potentially taking out 1 or 2 creep tumors, maybe doing a drive-by somewhere else. As, these cards are just barely going to miss this single Ling. We have 2 Marines on the low ground. Is that going to be good enough to deny the scout here? Let's take a look. I don't think Raynor got a whole lot of info. Now Hellions are going to make their way across the map. It's actually going to go into bio. I thought this was going to be mech. How wrong was I? It's going to be double eBay once more, into 2 more barracks, into a starport. Like, this is such a crazy trick, and look at his movement. I think Raynor is none the wiser. He has no clue what the hell is going on. Queens on the right. Lings are kind of stuck in between, well, honestly, going for the Hellions and not going for the Hellions. And we do see Raynor's going to go for the Hellions right now, splitting the drones relatively well, losing 3-4 drones so far. Good temporary wall over here. The Queens continue fighting, creating a bit of a maze. And he's played a lot of Winter Mall Wars in his time, let me tell you. Good lord, that was a beautiful little maze there with those Queens. We're gonna have another attack, another move in as 11 drones have gone down so far. But this was a very serious attack. And if you're Raynor and you find yourself in this position, you know that the Marine count cannot be high enough to go for another serious attack behind this. So I actually think that Raynor is in a pretty playable position if he can figure out what the hell is going on. Because we have more and more Hellions coming across. This is so funny to me that we're seeing this Roach Warren. Because Raynor right now is making the... Oh, I thought that Raynor was making the call. Yeah, this is going to mech. He scouted the extra barracks and he still believes this is mech. Like, he's seen it, but he hasn't seen it. He thinks these are factories. Against mech, you want to get attack upgrades only. Against bio, carapace is king. Because Marines fire at such a rapid pace. So... this is what I was talking about. Maru is so deep, like living so rent-free in Raynor's head. Like, the fear of mech is deeply instilled within Raynor. He's adding in roaches. He does not want to be playing roaches right now. He does not want to really be building any units. If I'm being real honest, he just wants to get an infestation pit, tech up the hive, no matter the situation. He just hasn't realized what he scouted. He's probably checked on the menu. It's like, okay, I see the extra buildings. I know what the hell this is, mate. I have seen your Hellions. I know your cars. Like, there's no more pressure coming in. You do get an infestor, which is kind of odd. I guess... Oh, no, it's not. Because he's expecting Hellion Cyclone. Or in case of Hellion Cyclone, he will be ready for this. He's going to get the surprise of a lifetime. We get a scan into the natural. Sees roaches coming out. I think this has to be somewhat confusing for Maru. Maru doesn't realize how well his trick worked out. Like, he fooled his opponent. Like, we're getting Neural Parasite here. Like, what's he gonna Neural Marine? A Widow Mine? It is possible. It's just not something I'd recommend, generally. So we're gonna get an instant cancel on that Neural, most likely. Wants to be going into carapace upgrades behind this as well. This is not what Raynor expected. Fungal's gonna be great over here. This is what I was talking about in that previous game as well, that Fungals can really help you hold the defense for a little bit, but I'm expecting the carapace upgrades to start ASAP behind this. I am shocked to see Neural Parasite still being researched. That is a move, let me tell you. That absolutely is a move. We're going to go into an Ultra Cavern. We see the Carapace and Melee upgrade now coming in. Obviously, range is not what you want. Supplies look very good for Raynor, but looks can be deceiving. As roaches are extremely supply intensive. And they're not actually that good. 75-25 in resources. Cost 2 supply. Used to be 1 supply back in the day. I want to say I'm not sure if it was just in the beta of StarCraft 2 or if it was also in a period just in Wings of Liberty. Either way, often in large enough numbers they do start feeling like 1.5 supply units rather than the 2 supply unit that they are nowadays. Funglers already here. I mean, this is a very awkward game. Like, this is just a very awkward game. Neural Parasite has been cancelled last second, as we can see right now. It's not in the upgrade tab. Upgrades once more are significantly faster for Maru. We're actually going to have a window here, which is going to be super painful for Raynor, where there's going to be 2-2 units, 2-2 bio, against 0 Carapace Roach, 0 Carapace Banelings, 0 Carapace Lings. Like, this is the absolute worst world. If Maru realized how far ahead he was with that, I think he'd just go for a straight up push. And I think he'd just straight up win. There is no way that you're winning battles with attack upgrades against bio and you have no Carapace. Like, it just is not possible. 5th base already on the way. I mean, Maru is cooking his opponent right now. Like, absolutely cooking his opponent. 3 Ultras are coming out. Like, at this point, even Marines are going to be effective against Ultras. That is how crazy these fights are going to look. Alright, we get a couple of Mind Drops here. A lot of attention there in these Mind Drops. This is a very minor army. This is by no means the entire army. So, I don't think this should be, like, necessarily great. Helvets with Blue Flame are pretty decent in fights. We have +1 vehicle plating as well. A couple of mines in the mix here too. Now we're going to get a pretty major move out. Carapace level 1 has finished up. Of course. +2 attack against +1 Carapace. Still going to be fine here for Maru. He moves across the map. Doesn't feel like it's a huge army here. Ultras are out. Marauder count doesn't feel great. Roaches in the back. A couple of these mines are going to start connecting with Ultras. We have more stuff stimming across the map. There's a single starport for now. This base might just be toast, if I'm being real honest. Chitinous is going to finish up. So this game is officially better right now than whatever it was that Raynor did in the previous one, because there he just died before he ever got the Chitinous. Even right now, we have 3 tanks in the back. Oh, we have a lot of mines here as well. We have a big front line of Marauders, which is difficult to break through with Lynx. It's difficult to break through with Banelings, because you don't want to waste Banes on that. The Ultras aren't performing that hot either. So we get a decent Roach flank here. Gonna try to snipe a single tank, 4 tanks. Make that 3 right now, as the Marauder count still remains very high, and Raynor will be forced into giving up this base. Maru, behind all of this, just continues to expand, right? We have a 6th base out already, 5th base moving on to location. Maru hasn't really been that far away from maxing out for a very long time now. Like, he's been consistently close to that 200 supply, and it shows. Like, he is so dominant on the map right now. Raynor, meanwhile, at the same time, is not very dominant. This is going to be his first real attack onto the other side of the map. We get a scan in the natural. Not sure what that is for. I think Raynor might need to actually give up this base as well. Does he have a Spire with this? I think I saw a Spire construct. We get an Ultra flank, which is going to be decent. So Link run by here is fantastic, actually. Raynor actually making Maru sweat a tiny bit here for the first time in this game. For the first time in this series, really, that Maru has to abandon one of his plans. This is the first time Maru has had to abandon one of his plans. This position is still pushing forward. That honestly feels unrealistic to me. We're gonna hit a big fungal, couple of links coming in from the sides. I think this tank setup is just gonna die. We have a scan over here. I wish Raynor would just continue clearing this. Spore now moving in further forward as 6 Corruptors hit the field. And both of these libs will end up falling. So this was an amazing fight, an amazing sequence for Raynor, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, he's down a base. Soon to be 2 bases. We have Ghost coming out as well. 3-3 upgrades have finished up. We're still, like... I'm raving about a defense and a situation in which Raynor is down an entire upgrade for the full duration of the upgrade. He's fighting against someone who is up a base as a Zerg that is always going to be bad. And once again, Raynor just doesn't have a lot of anything. He doesn't have a lot of creep. Doesn't have a lot of just any unit, really. His position genuinely sucks. Yes, these mines once more trying to get a little bit of damage on, but it's just, it's a distraction, I think. Like, they're cute, these mine drops with five drones is not that big of a deal. The real big deal is taking out bases, and I think these mine drops are just distractions trying to make that type of stuff happen. Marine count is pretty high, which is worrying. I think this is almost a mistake. Actually, I'd go as far to call this a mistake. I feel like Maru's been performing extremely well. He's done extraordinary things with heavy Marauder army so far in this series. And he's now giving that up to have a higher damage output army against units like Lynx, against Banelings. But against the Ultra, this might just be a little bit weaker. It's gonna be largely relying here on ghost snipes. So we see the boys with the guns moving in forward. A couple of Marauders here holding the front line. We're gonna need to come from two sides as snipes going down. First Ultra falls. 7 Ultra still on the map. Anabolic Synthesis here is on the way. We have one Infestor in the far back as the base dies. Here comes a Fungal onto the Ghost. Beautiful play. As every single Ghost actually gets cleaned up here. Corruptor's coming in as well with this. Medivac's fairly low in energy, fairly low in HP too. One more Infestor here. Oh, yo, yo. Would have been so fantastic. And I think Raynor might just try to continue pushing in. Gets a couple of big swipes. Where the hell did that Infestor come from? From the left? Was that really the Infestor? Maru dropping in supply to 146. Has a big load of units as well in production already. So this is actually starting to look pretty darn decent all of a sudden for Raynor. Yes, his eco isn't great. He's mining 1700 minerals a minute. He's mining 1200 gas, which is a good amount. But the complete lack of everything else is sucking. He's killing 15 SCVs here. And he's keeping his opponent on a very, very low eco for the first time really in this series. It feels like Raynor almost has an even position. And I say almost because I still much prefer what Maru has got going for himself. We've got the 5 orbitals. We get the base over here to the left. He can reestablish this bad boy. Army quality-wise, 6 Ghosts, 32 Marines, 2 Liberators. Mine count not great. We have insane Marine production here as well, which once more, fantastic if you're fighting against a primitive army of men with sticks. Men with gun is much better than men with stick, but you get the mammoth with the fat claws. The space cows are pretty darn strong, mate. So you get a Ling run by over here once more. This base is not actually protected. That is going to reset Maru back to 4 bases, and 2 of these bases are... Or sorry, 5 bases, and 2 of these bases are pretty mined out. Raynor does need to be careful here not to lose random units. Like, he can't afford to lose stuff. He's doing a good job here so far. He's going to force out another scan, which is fantastic. Or that Ling is going to stay burrowed as we're getting an attack onto this. No Fungals nearby to help. Without Fungals, you can't catch a Terran army, really. As one more Ultra is going to get sniped down. Yeah. If you give Maru, like, just a second of alone time with your Ultralisk, he's going to snipe it, you know? You don't do that, mate. You do not do that. You do not leave your daughter below 25 with Leonardo DiCaprio. You don't leave an Ultra near Maru's Ghost. These are the rules. The Ultras are now moving in forward, but without a Fungal nearby, it's going to be tough. That is an okay Fungal. Connects with 3-4 of those Ghosts. I'm not sure if it's going to be good enough. 2600 minerals, 2700 minerals income here for Maru as once more Raynor in a world of trouble. Maru just finds a way to just barely hold on to his lead this entire time. This has to be one of the more frustrating series that Raynor has played, because he didn't play poor at all. It just felt like Raynor never got a fair shot. You know, he got his glasses stolen at the start of each game, and then he spends 15 minutes looking for his glasses, and when he finally puts his glasses on, like Maru has completely destroyed everything that's dear to him. It's like burned down his house. His private library. You know, it's like, what the hell is he supposed to do? Hey, rebuild the library. That's what he does in game number 2, and boom, Maru takes his glasses again. Should have had better eyesight. Lol. Runs out with the glasses. Doesn't need to go that fast because you can't see without the glasses. So yeah, Maru's just complete control. Pure dominance. Corruptors going absolutely bananas against the Medivacs, but it's not going to be good enough here. 199 supply against 129. Third base once again is mining. Mines are just burrowing left, right, and center. And even with just 66 SCVs, I think Maru is just going to be seriously too strong. Every single time Raynor thinks he has like a safe haven, Maru shows up and starts killing stuff. It's the opposite of a safe haven. So Maru with a fat W over here against Raynor, 2-0.